Good afternoon, everyone. It is 4:30, so we will go ahead and get started. Welcome to the virtual TIP meeting for Clay County. I am Marcy Larson. I am the Public Affairs Manager for the North Florida TPO. We would ask that you mute yourselves as we go through the presentation. We have representatives with us today from the TPO, as well, including our executive director, and we also have representatives from Florida DOT, as well as folks from Clay County. This is the second in a series of virtual meetings to discuss the Transportation Improvement Program. This meeting is being recorded, as you probably noticed when you signed on, and it will be uploaded to the TPO website by tomorrow. So if you wish to listen again, you may do so, or refer anyone who missed tonight's presentation to hear the presentation. We also have an online survey that we would appreciate your completing. It asks you a variety of questions. And then when Elizabeth concludes her presentation, you will be able to ask questions two different ways. You can either put the question in the chat room and she will respond, or you may raise your hand using the hand raised feature on the Zoom. I think it's right underneath. So then she'll call on you. So with that, it's my pleasure to introduce Elizabeth DeJesus. She is our Transportation Programs Manager, and she will go ahead and walk you through the key projects for Clay County. Elizabeth.
Good afternoon. My name is again Elizabeth DeJesus. I am a Transportation Programs Manager for the North Florida TPO. The TPO is a regional transportation planning agency serving Clay, Duval, Nassau, and San Jose County. I will be presenting the draft Transportation Improvement Program, also known as the TIP, for fiscal years 2023-24 to 2027-28. The TIP is a prioritized listing of transportation projects covering a period of 5 years. It is developed and formally adopted by the TPO board as part of the Metropolitan Transportation Planning process. The TIP is consistent with the Long-Range Transportation Plan, and it is required for projects to be eligible for funding. The TIP includes projects on highway, transit, bicycle, pedestrian, aviation, port, and multimodal. This meeting is the second in a series of meetings through the region. We have also scheduled a TIP public meeting for May the 17th. That's next week. At that meeting, we will be presenting projects for all 4 counties. I encourage you to participate and to invite others to attend. All meetings are scheduled from 4:30 to 5:30. The links to all the meetings and recordings are in our webpage, www.northfloridatpo.com. I want to show you where to find the TIP information in our webpage. If you've never been to our webpage, it's www.northfloridatpo.com. And when you go to the front page, you click on the Planning tab, select TIP from the drop-down menu to go to the TIP page. In the TIP page, you will find the current TIP draft. You will also find a form to provide comments and the list of virtual meetings for each county with the respective links. As we do these meetings, we will also post the recordings, as Marcy indicated. The TPO board will approve the final TIP at their regular meeting on June the 8th at 10 a.m. We are located at 980 North Jefferson Street, Jacksonville, Florida. This is a highlight of some of the projects in Clay County. I encourage you to explore the TIP draft document for additional projects in Clay County, as well as in other counties in the region. If you have additional questions about any of the projects in this presentation, please make a note of the page number at the bottom of the page so that we can go back to that project and answer your question. I ask that you hold your questions until the end. And the first project is County Road 220 from Henley Road to Night Box Road. This project will add lanes and reconstruct, and construction is scheduled for 2024. Evergreen Lane from County Road 220B to Lisa Dawn Drive. This is a pedestrian safety improvement project, and construction is scheduled for 2025. State Road 16 from State Road 21 to US 17. This is a resurfacing project, and construction is scheduled for 2026. Clay County flood sensors. This is a pilot project, and the implementation of this project is scheduled for 2024. US 17 from Doctors Inlet Bridge to Wells Road. This is also a resurfacing project, and construction is scheduled for 2026. US 17 from County Road 315 to Haven Avenue. That's County Road 209. This is an intersection modification project, and construction is scheduled for 2024. US 17 from Oak Street to Black Creek. This is also a resurfacing project, and the construction of this project is scheduled for 2025. US 17 from the Putnam County line to Sweet Road. This is a resurfacing project, and construction is scheduled for 2025. US 17 from Water Oak Lane to Eagle Harbor Parkway. This is a resurfacing project, and construction is scheduled for 2024. US 17 from Water Oak Lane to north of Eagle Harbor. This is an intersection improvement, and construction is scheduled for 2024. US 301 from Bradford County line to north of County Road 218. This is a pavement study, and the implementation of this project is scheduled for 2024 and 2025. Keystone Heights Airport design and construction of 10-unit T-hangar. This is an aviation project, and the implementation of this project is scheduled from 2027 through 2028. Keystone Heights Airport drainage study. The implementation of this project is scheduled for 2027. Keystone Heights Airport master plan update. This is scheduled for 2025. And also there's a few area-wide projects that either touch Clay County or are in close proximity to Close County. And those are Blanding Boulevard from south of Wells Road to Ortiga River. This is an intersection improvement project, and construction is scheduled for 2025. First Coast Expressway from east of County Road 16A to east of County Road 209. This is a new road construction, and it's a design build project scheduled from 2024 to 2026. I-295 at Roosevelt Boulevard to south of Wells Road. This is an interchange modification project, and construction is scheduled for 2024. And to provide comments, as Marcy indicated, we have included a comments form. You can use this QR code to go directly to the form, or you can use the link below, which is publicinput.com/TPO-TIP. The deadline for comments is May the 31st. And with that, I will, you can ask any questions.
Elizabeth, this is Richard Smith in Clay County.
Hi.
Can you go back to the US 17 project from County Road 315 to 209 or to Haven Avenue?
Okay, Haven Avenue. This one, okay.
Yes. That's actually intersection improvements at County Road 315 and US 17. and at County Road 209, Russell Road at US 17.
Okay, so what you're saying, the map is not accurate.
Correct. We've got a lot of, we're very limited in Clay County, the amount of numbers they let us use. We use 315 very repeatedly, and we use 209 a lot of times.
Okay,
But the 209 that this refers to is the one just south of the Black Creek Bridge.
okay,
315 location is correct.
okay. So I will make sure that we correct the map. Thank you so much.
Yes, that should say Russell Road, County Road 209 instead of Haven
Okay.
Avenue.
Russell Road. Okay. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Thank you so much. We will do that. Thank you. Any other questions?
This is Commissioner Renninger from Clay County. I just have a question, and it's probably a general question. We're dividing State Road 15, US 17 up into 4, 5, 6 contracts. Going to encompass 3 years. I just, it's going to be construction for, like I said, 3 years. Is that normal, or I mean, it's only a length of 10 miles or so. And so I was wondering why we're doing so many contracts on 17.
Commissioner, you're referring to the resurfacing project or to all of the projects in US 17?
No, the resurfacing projects on 17. I think the last segment's going to be in 2026, if I heard you correctly.
Yes.
That's
I
3
think that
years from now.
Yeah, I think that we have somebody from DOT. Victoria.
Yes. So I'm trying to see which number are we specifically talking about?
So all of the projects in US 17 and that which are showing in the presentation, let me go back here.
I think it's slide 12 through 17 or something like that.
So this one, US 17 from Doctors Inlet Bridge to Wells Road, that's a resurfacing project in 2026. And then we have this one, US 17 from Oak Street to Black Creek, that's in 2025. And US 17 from the Putnam County line to Sweet Road, that's 2025 also. And US 17 from Water Oak Lane to Eagle Harbor Parkway, that's 2024. This intersection improvement, so they will be those 4. And I know that it has something to do with the funding source. And that's the way that they do it. And I'm based on previous conversations, because this is all, it's a continuous road. I'm thinking that they coordinate, so each of them, so that the flow of traffic and the work is all, fluid through the construction. But I don't know if maybe Victoria can confirm this. I think it has to do with the funding source.
Elizabeth, this is Jeff Sheffield with the TPO. Commissioner, it's a little bit of all of the above, to be quite honest. It's order of magnitude of a project, its funding source, very specifically resurfacing. If you look historically, resurfacing over the years as it relates to DOT projects started to significantly expand the scope of what a resurfacing project had become. And it started to add in intersection improvements and other elements to these projects, to the point with which they started to have to delay them. So they've made a real conscious effort on resurfacing to make it just that. Any other types of projects, intersection, road widenings to that extent, are very much separate projects, unfortunately, even within the limits of the same area of a roadway. To the best of their ability, they still try to time that stuff, but a lot of these road segments are just that. They're created in segments. Sometimes they end up not lining up. A lot of it tends to be order of magnitude of cost. the ability to line them all up, given total cost for that entire limit, probably would cause additional delays. So there is no one answer there. But certainly the DOT makes their best efforts, but a lot of it has to do, again, with the fact that resurfacing is very specific, intersection improvements are very specific, and the ability to line the two sometimes don't always match up.
Yeah, I understand. Just be advised, 22017, it's being characterized as a wagon trail due to the ruts that are exist in the surface right now. I mean, we get water pooling, hydroplaning. It's a very serious safety hazard right there. 22017.
Certainly that's the purpose of today too, is to be able to note any comments to that nature as well, so that we can convey them to DOT as they move forward. It's very much the point here. These are projects that are not all set to happen next year. So the ability to share concerns and sentiments gives them the opportunity to attempt to address some of those concerns.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Let me see if we have any raised arms here. But you can unmute yourself, or you can raise your hand if you have any other additional questions. I'm gonna give you a couple of more minutes.
Yes, Elizabeth, Mike Seller from Clay County.
Oh, hi, Mike.
How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Good. Unfortunately, you were moving pretty fast, faster than I could scratch down a number, but I was looking to see on Highway 16, the resurfacing program. I think it comes up in a couple of years.
Let me see, let me find it. Keystone Heights, Highway 16. This one, State Road
Yeah.
16?
There you
Yes.
go. Okay.
Okay, there you go.
So we're looking at, I would assume that the monies that they're showing in 23, 24 are what, design? Or what would that money be? And then the bulk of it, quite a bit actually, 18 million comes in 25 to 26.
Yeah, correct, yes. Yeah, preliminary engineering, it's in 23, 24, that's 2.3 million. And then construction, it's in 25, 26, and that comes to 18.4 million. Yeah.
And so that from State Road 21, so they're going to be doing all the way from Camp Landing east. So I would assume that means that our request for possible 4-laning of that Highway 16 from State Road 23 or the First Coast Expressway east to 17 is certainly, not only is it not in a work program, but it looks like it's been pushed aside based on maybe not needing to go 4 lanes, or at least the thought not needing to go to 4 lanes because of this resurface. They're not going to resurface and then expand the road anytime soon. That's basically what I look at that. Is that correct?
Jeff, do you have any information about that? Or Victoria, is this just resurfacing, or are they considering adding lanes?
I don't have an answer as far as whether the widening lane, we certainly haven't seen it in the work program as far as any project. That's a big number for resurfacing, to be quite honest. So in my head, I'm trying to wrap my head around that number, particularly with the PE funding, on whether or not possibly the preliminary engineering can contemplate what a 4-lane might look like going forward, even though the resurfacing is programmed. That's just me thinking out loud, to be quite honest, Mr. Saylor. This is not a definitive answer.
Right.
It's something that we can certainly get some clarity on and make sure that we respond. So either drop your email in the chat, or if you want to formalize your comment on the website so that we have that of record, we can certainly follow up with that. Again, that's really the point of today, is to try to get some of these questions and comments and be able to provide a good quality answer back to you.
Mhm.
Right, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
and
we
Sure.
can find that. We can find that information for you, Mr. Stella.
Okay,
This project is 13.4 miles of project resources. So, yeah.
Then I'll recant a little of that comment then, because an $18 million number for that distance is not out of the realm. So
Right.
I'll go back and say that is 100% a resurfacing project, and
Yeah,
probably
well,
does not contemplate anything else.
I
And-
will add, I have not seen anything other than resurfacing in this project. I can dig a little deeper, but all I have seen as well is just resurfacing.
right, yeah, and I understand that, and that is quite a long ways for a resurfacing project, so I'm not surprised by the dollar amount, but my concern was, and we've made our feelings known, that we think that there's going to be need for that 4-laning, especially coming off of State Road 23, the First Coast Expressway, moving eastbound towards Green Cove, if not within 2 or 3 years. I mean, we've got thousands of homes being built in a number, I mean, just between Saratoga Springs and what was Governor's Park. On both sides of that, there's 10,000 homes just in those two developments, both of them dumping out onto 16, trying to get to First Coast Expressway. And doesn't seem like a great idea to have First Coast Expressway where we're trying to get people if we're going to just try to get them there on 2 lanes. So that certainly is a thought to maybe move that up wherever the thinking might be beyond 27, 28. You know, like I said, I don't think they're going to plan on resurfacing if they're going to be making that road wider anytime soon, and that's a concern.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
that's okay. I'm sitting here watching this presentation.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's okay. They're talking about resurfacing.
Yes. Oh, Lynn, go ahead.
Hi, Elizabeth. I was
Yeah, I'm looking at the price and Mike Selman just had a good point.
Can you, sorry, can you,
First Coast Expressway coming out, the overpass right there,
can you please,
that they had.
mute yourself?
That 4-lane, which
It's-
totally makes sense when you think about it.
There's somebody that is speaking. Can you please, mute yourself?
So he just brought that up. Anyway.
Lynn, just a moment, please.
The workshop from the airport. And I just,
Okay.
okay.
Okay, Lynn, can you unmute yourself?
I've unmuted. Can you hear me, Elizabeth?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So the airport projects that are for Keystone Airport, I know that a couple months ago, they have reprioritized their projects. I was wondering when the information was pulled and transferred over to the North Florida TPO. Is that current up to date for coming from the airport? I know that they have their own FDOT and FAA a representative that they work with, and earlier this year they rearranged some of their projects.
Yes, it was received, I think it was 2 weeks ago. And I
Okay.
know that there's some changes that might not be reflected until the approval of this TIP. Victoria might add more to that.
Okay.
Hey, Elizabeth, this is Kyle Kaufman. I'm from FDOT. I work on the multimodal program, specifically aviation.
hi.
So
hi,
I can answer this one. And hey, Lynn, I know we met a few weeks ago during the meeting you're referring to. So what you're seeing here is a snapshot from last year's development cycle. What the TPO is presenting today would have been based on the meetings we had a year ago and all the incorporated changes. So we're running about 9 months ahead of the TPO, meaning what we met with you 2 weeks ago or a month ago now, that will be reflected in next year's update. So they run it takes us about 9 months to put together the work program, submit it to them, and then allow them to go around and do all the tip presentations. So the short answer is no, this does not include all of the requests to make changes and funding moves that were submitted last month.
Perfect, Kyle. Thank you so much. I know that's that's been an ongoing question for a couple of years now.
Correct. And that this is pretty typical of what you'll see just moving forward, that it's kind of an odd timing where you meet with us and tell us all the changes you want. And then when the TPO does their tip presentation, they're, presenting last work cycles development.
Okay, and Kyle, just offline, can you email me the adjustments that were discussed? In
Yeah,
our
absolutely.
meeting?
I have a typed up change summary. I'll email you right now.
You're fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you. Yeah, we received comments from different aviation authorities about projects, and that's exactly right. We were told it will these changes that they've been submitted through the different authorities are going to be in the next cycle. So once this TIP is approved, that's when all of these changes will take effect. So any other questions?
Hi, Elizabeth.
Yes.
My name is Chris Cushman. I live in Clay County, and this question might be similar to the one that was just asked, but I was hoping to see the Clay Duval trail, the one that's going from the airport down to the state park. And I was wanted to know if that was going to be in maybe the next one, or
from Clay County, that's one, the Clay County trail, the one that is crossing to Duval County, right? Is that the one that you are referring to?
yes, ma'am. The one, right.
Yeah, that one is a priority for Clay County. I don't have the exact information right now, but I can find that information for you. Because I think the first order of business is to do a design, a preliminary engineering and design. And I will have to find the information in terms of what is the status on that. We did a study, the TPO did a study last year, and then the project is a priority for Clay County for both TAP and Sun Trail. But as part of the process, we have to identify, first have all of the engineering and preliminary engineering and design before the funding is identified. I can provide that information to you. If you can please, in the chat, give us your email. I can find that information for you.
That's great. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sure. Any other questions? Let me see, there's Chris. Okay, Chris, thank you so much for providing the email. Any other questions? Well, seeing no other questions in the chat, I thank you very much for your participation, and we will be posting the recording of this presentation in our webpage. So if you have know people that will be interested in finding information on the TIP, you can send them to our webpage, www.North Florida TPO, and they can listen to the presentation, and also they can provide input and explore the TIP draft document. I thank you very much for attending this meeting, and thank you very much. Have a great day. We are going to stay until 5:30 because if anybody comes late, we would like to talk to them, but you are free to go. Thank you very much.
Elizabeth,
Yes, sir.
Jeff Holstein, Pedaling for Safety.
Hey, Jeff.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi.
I had trouble logging in, so I didn't hear everything that, or see everything that you covered in the beginning.
Okay,
There's a major project, I believe, coming up next year on SR 21 at the intersection with Wells Road, southbound and the left turn. Is that on your project list?
are you talking about, let me see, are you talking about this one, Blanding Boulevard, from south of Wells Road to Ortega?
No, well, it might be that one. If you're coming south on Blanding Boulevard and you get to Wells Road and want to turn left,
Mhm.
that whole intersection there, southbound and left onto Wells, is going to be changed substantially,
Yeah,
I believe, next year. Is this the project?
I think, Victoria, can you confirm that?
I mean, I would believe that as well without knowing more information. I would assume this would be it. I can check a few other projects, but this is an intersection improvement.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
think, Jeff, this is the only one in Wells Road from Clay County and area wide. The only project that I see that touches Wells Road. So I'm thinking this probably is the project that you're referring to.
That is my.
Okay, and what's the date of that one? I can't read it on the screen.
Oh, Blanding Boulevard from south of Wells Road to Ortega River. It's an intersection improvement and the construction is scheduled for 2025.
Thank you very much.
Sure, yes. And also for your benefit, Jeff, we are going to post the recording of this session in our webpage. If you go to northfloridatpo.com, when you click on the planning tab in the front page, it will take you to the TIP page. And you will find all of the information regarding the TIP draft and the comments form. There's a comments form that you can provide input and ask questions. And then all of the links and recordings for each of the counties. And also we're having a TIP public meeting on the 17th next week. That meeting will include projects from all 4 counties. So if you are interested, you can also join us on the 17th. But all of the information will be in the webpage, so you can go there and then go over the presentation and all of the materials that we have there.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome. So we are going to stay until 5:30. If anybody else has any questions, otherwise I'm going to stop the recording, and then we can stay online until 5:30 in case anybody else come and have any other questions. So I'm going to pause the recording, and if somebody else come, I will start recording again. Stop recording.